Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. Well, almost, yeah, good afternoon, good evening, whatever you want it to be. Whatever, things are whatever you want them to be and whatever reality you choose to stay in and whatever reality you choose to participate in. It is free will, you know. And I start by saying that is because, you know, it's, it, I'm just saying, when you're online talking to people, you really don't know who you're talking to. You really don't know. And that's unfortunate, but hey, that's the signs of the time. Because back in the day, I think I said this once before. I used to sell books, or not sell books. I was a writer, and I can remember taking all these courses and being promised all of this, being promised all of that. You just need to do this, you need to do that. You need to set up this account, you need to set up that account. And I can remember, my goodness, and I did all that, by the way. I did all that. I created my own website back then. I knew code, to create my own website. I did everything I was told to do. And I got no results at all. Okay. And I thought, okay, well, thankfully I had a good paying job, to just continue to take care of me because that wasn't good. That wasn't going to happen. Right. And this is back, like I said, in 2012. Now, fast forward to 2023. Let's go back, though, to 2012 first. I remember, like I said, I did everything. These marketing people told me to do everything. Like I said, I built my own website. I opened up this account. I did this. I did that. I'm kind of shocked that I was able to do all that. And I was working a full-time job. In a very stressful environment as a first responder, but I still was able to do all that. And that's probably why all my relationships I didn't do very well in relationships when I was working in that high, that toxic first responder position. The relationships weren't good. And I was thankful, that I did meet some good people and that I met some psychopaths, sociopaths, narcissistics, because that's, you'll meet that everywhere these days. It just exists in our environment, and I don't see it going anywhere. But gosh, I just can't. Like I said, I was just hearing someone telling me all these steps that you have to take to do this and do that. It's like deja vu. I've been there. I heard the same story. I heard the same song. And it's like a lot of, they just want you to pump money into them. They do. They just want your money. Pay me this and I'll take care of that. Pay me this and this just gets too much. And so I did retire, from my first responder position. And so now I'm just going to kind of probably stay away from that type of environment of trying to deal with that, because even though writing is a creativity to me, and speaking and communicating, those are some strengths of mine. However, sometimes you just have to let certain things just go. Sometimes it's just not the right time, even though the time is really of a crucial. This is a crucial time. There's a lot going on that nobody knows, because the way people are acting is like they're in their own world, and chances are they are. They're in their own world. They don't have no idea what's going on. They got everything's so fake, And I understood a term today called avatar, and that is what I get my ass all messed up with when I had some issues. Several months back, back in the several months back, I had some issues on Facebook, and I knew I felt like I was not dealing with, actual people, because I know I deal with all walks of life, and I could tell I wasn't dealing with real people, And it makes sense because I wasn't. I was dealing with these avatars, and they kind of take the place of, you know, and doing functions for whoever they represent or whatever. So that makes sense to me. Ooh, so I feel better, actually, because, you know, it's easy to get yourself caught up in a vortex of social media and get yourself spinning in that and believe that's your world, that's your life, you know. And I think sometimes once you get into that vortex of all of that, you know, going on, you do lose yourself if you don't know who you are. So it's so important to know who you are. Who am I? Okay, and what's the difference between me and an avatar? What's the difference between me and a artificial intelligence? You know, these clones, these androids. You know, because at some point in the future, that's all people are going to be dealing with. When you call into customer service, you're going to be dealing with the artificial intelligence. If you do a thesis now, you don't have to research nothing. Just do a thesis, you know, by using some type of technology. Turn it in and call it a day. That's how it's become. You know, that's how it's become. You know, the cause and effect of all of that. So what I'll just have to do is I'll just keep putting videos out, and I can care less if people listen or not. And if it resonates, that's fine. If it doesn't, that's fine as well. You know, I'm just going to let that just be what it is. And, you know, at some point, it's going to get to where I really need a job. It's not like I don't have that luxury of, just waiting anymore. I'm going to go ahead and just do something that I like to do. I like to be outdoors. So it's going to be something outdoors, most definitely. Because at least I can know that if I'm outdoors, that's as close to reality as it can be. You know, there's no reality when I'm looking on these computer screens, because I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't even know if I'm talking to real people or just some generated android or some generated avatar that does like Alexis, you know, do all the talking for you. And people start to recognize that voice as something that's real when it's not. So that's where we are going. And you know, it's a vortex, and once you get in that, you know, it's definitely gonna be deja vu, because you're not dealing with reality, you know. So I wish everybody that chooses to get into that type of environment, I wish you all the best. I hope that nobody's does any financial harm to you or reputational harm, or, you know, just causing a whole lot of unnecessary overwhelm and craziness for no reason, really. I mean, god damn, you know. And I wish people would stop with the some of the delusion, you know, about, you know, what's really going on in the world, you know, and just be honest and stop with theories and opinions, which that's all I do as well. I give theories and opinions, but I don't act like it's all true, really. You know, I don't attach that it's true, or that you have to accept it, or that is that I have to force you and coerce you and influence you. And, you know, hey, I put these videos up, and YouTube does whatever YouTube wants to do with them. At some point, it's gonna be up to YouTube to decide what to do with the videos. There's billions and billions of people on these platforms, and the ones that are making the presence are doing that for a reason. They are the ones making the presence for a reason. It depends on where people want to take the audience, you know, where they want to push the audience, what direction they want the audience to go. They don't want the audience thinking about, you know, other possibilities, but just follow these people, just do this and do that and blah, 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 blah. it gave me a headache, listening to that stuff. Because I just feel like great creational talent is lost, and everything is a carbon copy of an original. It's a carbon copy of an original. You just follow this formula, and you know what? That is a scientific thing. If a formula works, I mean, if there's a formula, let's put it this way, and everybody says, well, just add water, and this is supposed to happen. And is that scientific now that I think about it? Because in most cases, you add water and nothing happens, except a few. You'll get a few fruit of whatever you're trying to build or grow. But in the meantime, who's financing off of that? Who's financing off of that? So I do feel better because I knew things hadn't changed. But, only thing that has changed is how it is worded, and the fact that since we're so overpopulated, the population just increases. So there's more potential leads, because there's so many more people that you can, pass this on to. And, these, what they call them, strategies. And sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. And I think people operate on that, knowing that. Sometimes it's a 50-50, but guess what? They still get paid, whether it's a 50-50 or not, for the person. The people that are so-called leading this, they get paid regardless. And so they can have income that's coming on in monthly, taking care of their shit, and they can care, I mean, some probably do care about how, if you succeed or not. But what I remember back, almost 10 years ago or so, it was about getting their fees, getting their monthly fees. That's all it was about, So anyway, I want to come through and share that and just say, be able to do other things. That's the whole point of the matter. Thankfully, I have a lot of skills. Okay, I have excellent skills. And so what I'm going to do is just do something part-time right now until I can decide what I want to do with my life. My second half of my life. And just enjoy the moments as best I can, and keep myself, fresh and clean. No, I'm just joking. Just fresh and open and ready to take on whatever come my way. But yeah, be able to do other things, be able to fix stuff. Be able to, if you got to dig a ditch sometimes. If you have to load and move furniture, you might have to do that. So there's just so many things that'll be required that you may not expect or want to happen, but you need to know how to do things. And I put out a video on that before. Know how to do things other than what you're doing. Have the skills, hand skills, not just intellectual skills, which is, that's fine. But can intellectual skills, change out a toilet, or change a tire? So those are things to contemplate and think about when you're doing your meditation, or when you're just sitting down and spending some quality times with yourself or your family and friends. Okay, so everyone have a great evening, and I send peace and love all over.